Won't waste another minute, no, I won't. I'm a man on a mission. I'm a man on a mission.
I made her, so I understand her. Like, I created that little girl. She's just like me. If anybody fucked up a marriage, it was me.
Wait another minute, no, I won't.
Welcome back to Men Talk 2 True Crimes. We're here again with David and Joey Buttafuoco, the infamous. So Mary Jo, and I've spoken to her many times. She's been to my house, actually, and I've spent an afternoon with your daughter as well.
Right.
She's said to me she knows where all the bodies are buried. How so?
Who said that to you, Mary Jo or Jessica?
Well,
Both?
a little bit of both.
Yeah, that's okay. Now I'm going to take a little water break.
Hey now.
That is so
That's
funny.
not
That's
fair.
awesome. No, she does.
Well, when you say water, it's interesting because the running joke you had with Mary Jo was none of the bodies are buried in, they're all in the water.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is why
But
you
she-
have that obsession with all of the boats.
Well, no, I had that when I was a kid, but I was doing bad shit when I was a kid too. My little whaler that my son wanted, none of that matters. Asking the question about Mary Jo and Jessica told you they know where all the bodies are buried. And I think out of respect, my dad was a straight businessman. He didn't do anything mob related. You know, he didn't. He just did not. That's not really true for the rest of the family, extended family and stuff like that. There's a lot of Buttafuocos running around doing shit. So out of she's awesome. I mean, if anybody fucked up a marriage, it was me. And when she says that, she never said anything against my family, and she loved my dad. And my dad loved her so much. She was her little thing, you know, little Cupid doll. And he loved Mary Jo. So when this went down, he was brokenhearted. As far as knowing where the bodies are buried, I think out of respect for my dad, she never said anything that would be leading law enforcement to let's look into the old man. He's the king of all this shit, you know. And she never did. And I don't really think she knew too much, but she might.
and I know
quite a bit.
Well, Jessica, I know she's furious with you.
Yeah. Yes, she is.
She's like has
Very
a hard
furious
time.
with me.
Yes, I'm trying to think of the nicest way to put
There's
it.
no nice way. She's mad.
Yeah.
She's an Aries, and it's my daughter, and I made her, so I know the extent that she can go to.
And she feels like you totally destroyed her life.
Yes, she does say that to me. She texted me that. So I gave her space. She hasn't spoken to me in, I think, 6 years now. Yeah, I count the days.
I actually tried. I talked to her about trying to open up a conversation with you because you are her dad, and that won't change.
Not now, not yet.
But
It
she's
might.
well, no. I mean, the fact that you're her father is not going to change. I talked to her about you and her at some point coming together and coming to some sort of relationship again, or entering into a relationship where at least, you know, she's forgiven you, and because she's counseling now. Right. So you would think that that's something that would be healing for her.
I agree.
That is going to change.
It will change. She's not
So
there yet.
the reason it's going to change, because I'm in negotiations now with them, and they've already agreed, and Jessica's asking for it, is to do a sit down with her father. So that's just happening.
It's pretty big.
It is big, and the question is you know, there's been a book, a Lifetime movie. What are your thoughts about that? And as far as Mary Jo and Jessica are concerned, because they participated in something, and I know that you really weren't a part of it.
I was not a part of the Lifetime film. I was okay with that. And I would never, when she did the book, I was furious because I read the book and I was mad. I did fuck that up for her. I shouldn't have. I should have just let it all happen and, you know, and go. And that cost a lot of money to do that. And I feel terrible about that. And I was not going to do that again with this Lifetime movie. Let her have her moment with her ordeal. I really felt that. Like, you know what? This is your movie. You wrote this. You executive produced it. You're never going to hear from me about the movie. Never.
And you were happy for her.
I was very happy for her.
And you want her happiness.
I do.
As
I always
well as
did.
Jessica.
I always did. I feel awful for some of the things that happened. I paid a huge price for some of the things that I didn't do. And it's okay if Jesse's has that feeling toward me. That's the way it is. I can't change that. I made her, so I understand her. Like I created that little girl. She's just like me.
But I think you're paying more now for the things that you did do in her mind. That's just in
That's
conversation.
an interesting way to look at it. But let me tell you, she got hurt from a person that I knew. And you know what? It's terrible. I paid the price for that big time, for everybody that ever decided to do something like that. You know, nobody thinks that that's going to happen, but it did in the worst way. And, you know, 40 years could heal, but listen, it's up to Mary Jo and Jess, not me. You know, I really believe that, you know, and poor Jess, she's carrying all this weight on whatever it is. But she sent me an email that would just burn you. I mean, she was really, every single thing I did not do or I did do, she got everything. Thanked me for all the cool things and fuck you for all the other things that I did. Yeah, I looked at that and I cried when I got it. But then I called my life coaches and said, here's what I'm dealing with. And I kind of got through it, and that's it. I can't be mad at my daughter. I made her. It's exactly like me. I would have done the same thing. That's just the way it is. Okay. So you were talking about Jessica.
Jessica, one of the things that I wanted to ask you about with Jessica is that, you know, ironically, I actually was with her at a Christmas party. And, you know, she was like, wait, I know you, and that whole thing. And she was like, I've been to your house. I said, I know. And she was like, yeah. And one of the issues is she's like, my last name, Buttafuoco. Like, there you have it. It says.
Yeah, but why hasn't she changed
a lot of things?
Why didn't Mary Jo do I am Mary Jo? I've noticed that they all keep the name Buttafuoco for a reason.
So I was going to ask that to Joey. What do you think about that?
Which part of that?
The fact that they don't change their name, because let's face it, your name is.
Yeah, but that's okay too. You know, how am I going to change my name? How am I going to? How are you going to change this mug? What am I going to get? Plastic surgery? What's it going to look like? You know, what am I going to do? I got to run with this, huh?
Just a little plastic surgery would be fine.
Nah,
He might need it after his
last thing.
When after which one? After this?
Yeah, your Band-Aid.
Oh.
Nah, I'm good. This one? Mm-hmm. You want to see it?
Look, here's
cool.
my thought. Jessica is a trauma media for kids of.
Oh, God,
okay, this is her title. So when she cancels out her father, how is that what her career's about? Because the canceled us generation is, I get it. We're going to cancel you.
It's terrible. This nonsense with children canceling out their parents because of something the mother or the father said when they were 14 years old. This cancel stuff is bullshit. All right, this is something.
Do you feel canceled?
Huh?
Do you feel canceled?
If you want to apply that to me, yeah, I was canceled out by my daughter and Mary Jo when we could have worked things out. We could have, you know, at least with my daughter. You know, I mean, it's so, and even with something, this was a little bit different. It was big. It was big, of course. And it was tragic, but I tried to keep everything together, but I couldn't. And then all of a sudden, this whole new cancel thing comes out. Kids cancel their parents. The parents cancel their kids. This is not therapy. This is not healing. This is not trying to get to the root of the problem and keep a family together. It's walking away from your family that raised you, that gave you the best of everything, whether it came from a stolen truckload or not, gave you the best of everything. Everything. I mean, how does somebody pass that along? Do you think that's a conspiracy? You think that's what they put out there to change everything?
But I mean, it's just opposite to what a therapist.
I get a little emotional over that because I hate
that. In this area. Wouldn't it be a great idea? So it is a great idea. They are going to do this. Time will tell, but it's in the works.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Well, if they're, I mean, like, look,
you're probably
going
to.
If anyone can help facilitate it, I might be able to help, but. You know, and I will do my best.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'm cool. I'll sit in a chair just like this. I'll sit.
we
And the
can talk
cool
more
thing
about
is, I grew so much from all of this, with my coaches, and I've changed a lot. And I tell these stories. I kind of turn
You've been in therapy for 5 years.
6 years, yeah.
6
With
years.
my life coaches, they changed my life.
They're
I know-
wonderful. We had them on
They're great.
one of our shows.
Yeah, and they're great.
And they're
Robert and Jill
fantastic.
Turner, they're great. And I know that I turn this stuff into funny stuff because it's almost I almost have to do it that way. Right.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you'll be crying.
Yeah, man. I tell the story. This is what I did, and I did all that stuff and more. I did it all.
Fine.
Okay.
What do you want to talk about?
Transporting money.
Oh, I always had a lot of money. Thank
But
God.
wait, we've talked about the transportation of money.
Let's see what it leads to.
Okay.
Listen, the money. I had the business, and I always had money. I always carried a weapon because of that. Even when I got to California, within 2 years, I should say, I was shying money with Mario at the Rainbow, and I made $1 million.
We're rolling, Saul?
He's still rolling.
I made $1 million with Mario in 2 years at the Rainbow.
Yeah.
He let me do it, right? Cops knew everything. I thought I was like getting away with it again, right? It's all good. It was on my safe, all bundled in $10,000 bundles. I'll cut to the chase on this story. When I got busted for insurance fraud out here, they came into my house and they wanted to break open the safe. I said, don't break the safe. I'll open it. And it was like there was an army there of cops with guns and all kinds of shit. And I'm sitting there turning the dial and they're going to kill me. They're going to fucking kill me. So I said, I'm going to lift it. I'm going to lift it. And I'm going to sit in the chair, and you can cuff me, but I'm not going to give you any reason to shoot me. When they took all my money out, I had $1,216,000 in my safe. $1,216,000. And the first thing they said in front of my kids, oh, we got him now. And that whole thing was behind Ivanka, my wife at the time, saying I was a drug dealer. They took my money.
I remember Ivanka.
They took my money, but I got it back. Because it was my money. It was my money. You're allowed that money in your house. They hated it that they had to give it back to me. They gave it back to me in a Bank of America check. I'll take it, no problem. Thank you.
Could be worse.
Yeah, it could be a lot worse. They were pissed. I had to go downtown to the DA's office, way up on the top floor, to get all my computers and phones, which was useless. I threw it all, smashed it, threw it in the trash. And at the end, the main person for the DA's office, a woman, she was fabulous through the whole thing. She's like, this is fucked up. I know, but she handed me my check.
All right. Well,
That's all.
talking about
I wasn't
money,
a bad criminal all the time.
No,
I'm charitable.
No, you're a good criminal most of the time. So what I'd say now is, or a question I have, is I know we're talking about transporting money. We're talking about Mario Vigs. Okay, explain what a VIG is.
It's just the points on the money that you lend. That's all it is. It's the juice on the money that you lend. The
interest on the the loan.
If back then, oh man, interest rate back then was maybe it was 4 points with banks. It's like that was it. It was relatively low, but it wasn't low for the time. The feds will always make sure that they get their money from everybody no matter what. So people that would come to us need money and they need it fast, whether it was a builder or a car shop guy, and they got to make payroll and they don't have it to cover payroll. So you know what? You put $5,000 out to this guy, $5,000 out to this guy, $5,000 out to this guy, and you just make it a little bit higher than the Fed. That's all. Maybe you're at 6 points and they're at 4 or 5 points or it's 8 points. When you do the math, it's making money. You make good money. Now, what they do, a lot of these people don't know when they borrow money on the shy, is they don't understand that they're only paying the juice back, which is the interest. That's it. Until they come back to you and hand you whatever they borrowed, 4, 5, 6, 10 grand. Until they do that, they're still paying the juice on that money. A couple of guys didn't really understand that.
So what did you do?
Well, you know what? You're paid. No, you're not. You're not paid.
So they think they're paid because they return the initial
because they're keeping their
money.
little gyp sheet. They said, "Well, look, I already paid you back the money." And I said, "No, you're only paying the interest back." And they swear, "But I paid the 10 grand in that whole time." I said, "You're not understanding. You borrowed money, but you're paying back only the interest." So I was clear on this, written down. You signed it and everything. It's like, you still owe me the 10 grand. Until you pay me that $10,000, you're not off this hook.
So
And then sometimes guys
what
would try to
happened?
get fast, and there would be problems. And then
So what
somebody's
happened?
going to get hurt. Are you going to pay or you're going to get hurt? I'm going to say this because anybody out there that's running money does the same thing. I'm nobody special here. I just jumped on the wagon when I came to California. I had to make money, and that's what I did. You know?
Of course.
Put money out. I had it. Mary
Well-
Jo doesn't know any of that.
All right. So
Jesse doesn't.
So
well,
once we know that this is a
it's a business,
this
man.
is a business that can go awry a lot, and there's a lot of people who are still on drugs. A lot of people are doing coke while they're doing this business. There's a lot of high tensions going on. You know, money causes a lot of triggers for people. So once in a while, you're in a situation where, like you said, the guy thought it paid off the 10 grand, but no, he didn't pay the interest off. He doesn't have the interest, and he says to you, for example,
Fuck you.
go fuck yourself.
Right.
Then what happens?
That's when we put somebody on him, and he gets roughed up pretty bad.
Bad to the point of death?
No. But bad to the point of explain this to your wife when you go home. You know, you beat up pretty bad. Explain that now to your wife and your children. It's terrible.
But does that also, every situation has its depths. So
Debts or death?
depth, the
Depth.
deepness of it all, okay?
So fucking good.
So when I go into the depths, I go back to the water,
Yeah.
okay? And when I go by the water, we talked about a story, and it was riveting for me to hear it because you talk about it very romantically and smart.
It is
You tell me
romantic.
about rope.
Yeah.
Remember what you told me about rope?
Do you remember
What's
what I
that
told you?
term? Where the rope tightens because the water hits the rope when somebody's tied up or something,
Yeah.
say to a pillar underneath a, you know, what's it
Go
called?
ahead,
A
finish it because it's a great fucking
pier.
story. Yeah. Okay. So the pilings, right?
pilings.
Okay, I grew up around those. Nighttime, full high tide, the crabs would come up and climb those, and that's how we'd all go crabbing at night. Anyway, that's a different story. Backing up on that a little bit is it's going to be incriminating. So ask me another question.
All right,
So it sounds like, are we talking about bodies being tied up?
Well, for instance, okay, let me explain. Let's bring this in a little tighter. You could even use your children as an example, or you or us when we were young, running around. Our sneakers get all wet. They're old kids, and they get wet. And that fucking it's double knotted, and your sneakers are wet, and your shoelaces are really wet. Can't untie that knot so easy, can you?
So are we saying there are some accidental deaths?
I don't know, but
Or-
you can't. It's very difficult to untie a wet shoelace. Imagine what a rope.
So what with
Please.
a rope? There's a term for it. I forget what it's called. But it
Think
gets
about
it
that.
gets
Your wet
tight.
shoelaces you can't untie. Well, there's a little story behind it. If somebody is tied to a piling at low tide, and tide's going to come up every 12 hours, it ebbs and flows. You're not going to be able to untie that. If you're in that situation, you're done.
So are you saying that this is something that was happening?
Yes, of course it was. It's frightening to most people.
Yeah, very frightening.
But there's
You
no.
imagine that water
when the
level-
tide
you
comes
can't
in, what
untie it.
happens?
Tide comes in.
What happens?
You're tied at low tide. As the tide comes in, you can't move. You're tied to a piling under a pier.
So the tide rises up.
Tide comes up, and they're going to drown.
So they drown. Does
Unless somebody comes and gets them, that can happen.
but does the body eventually
It gets eaten a little bit by the.
So fish or whatever.
What are we getting at here, guys?
Yeah, it's just something to torture somebody. That's
Oh,
all it is.
okay.
That's
Sorry.
what we're getting.
It's very,
at,
very long
You know,
story
you're going to
here.
pay. You're going to pay. That was long.
Yeah.
You can imagine. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
we
I
can
get
get rid
it.
of that then. But you're going to pay. You're not going
No,
to.
I get it.
You're going to pay. Would you pay? Would you pay? Would
we
you pay?
need to talk about. David said that I know you.
I never killed anybody that I really know of. So.
But you
I
never
need to put that
turned.
out.
You always turned your back.
I never killed anybody.
That you know of.
Correct.
Okay. And the
And
other.
thank God. I mean,
Let's talk about
detective was close.
Let's talk about something that we do know of, and that's affairs.
you had an affair.
Not me.
Also,
No,
how do you know?
that would
What
make
we
me,
know about that.
That
I'm
would
like,
make
what?
me so much more exciting. Trust me. David has given me some numbers here, roughly a massive figure.
Yes.
So we can cut to that
Yes.
next.
Yes. At this point in my life, I can own that number and not be concerned that I'm going to hurt Mary Jo anymore. I hurt her enough.
And what's
Or
the
hurt my
number?
girl- thousands. Easy.
Thousands or 10,000?
Listen, I don't have an
20?
NBA contract. I got nothing out there like that.
So how
and
many?
I really, really had
You
a
once
very,
threw out
very
the number, which I was amazed.
He said 40,000.
Wilt Chamberlain.
No, it was easy. I mean,
less.
it wasn't 40,000. I mean,
Oh, that's okay.
but it was big.
It was big.
It was big. And
It was more than Engelbert Humperdinck.
What was
my
he at?
God.
$5,000?
I know
Look,
that's
I
a
look
random
good for my
thought,
age.
but
I look good for
I've
my
spent
age
time talking
compared
to him, too.
He's still around, by the way.
Yeah.
He's in Wisconsin. But I
him. I see him.
I was so my brain was so mismanaged by my own by myself. I was so derailed, and what was important, what was not important. I was so not there, and there was a reason for that. It wasn't drugs. I don't know what the reason was, but it was my. Listen, I just was so out there. Sorry, Saul.
it's okay. So
I was
it sounds
so gone.
What it sounds like you have this like need for adrenaline all the time.
I did.
Sex,
I
drugs,
did.
rock and roll.
Listen, I never said
parties.
this to anybody, but I can say it here. I'd leave in the morning. Oh, God. And I would go on my way to work, do my business, and be at work. And at lunch, I'd sneak out and not have to sneak out. It was my place. I'd go out, hit it again. After that, after lunch, then I would head home, hit it again. Then I'd go home. And then, that's how it was for
When you
me
say
every
hit it
fucking
again,
day.
hit a woman again?
Yeah, because
So
not physically hit them.
No,
but
I'm just saying you
I
have sex
did.
with maybe 4 women in a day?
Easy.
Easy. 10 women in a day?
Not so much as 10, but it could be easy 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
Easy.
I love your honesty, by the way. So here's the last thing I have.
What can
this
I say?
is my
Until
very
I say I'm sorry. It's like, what am I going to say?
well. There's nothing you can say. But my very last question is: okay, finally, obviously there are a lot of things that we've talked about that could potentially be regrettable to many people. Just if you had to sum it up, what is the biggest regret?
I fucked up my marriage.
Okay, I think that is a good place.
I
for
hurt
us.
Mary Jo, and she just didn't deserve that.
So when you...
No fake tears. I feel it, but I hurt her so bad. She didn't deserve that. Period.
And that's it. I mean, there's not much more we can add, except for getting Mary Jo, hopefully, with Jesse
I would
into the room.
entertain that.
So on the next Men Talk 2 True Crime,
I would entertain that.
we can see if we can have 2 ladies join us, right?
Yeah.
That would be big, guys. That would be big.
So
And
we'll
the
save that
beauty
for the
is
next
I'm
time.
in a place in my life where everything we discussed here, I would totally own and discuss with them as well.
And you want to.
And I do want to.
Right. So this is an invitation that we can go public with. Go ahead. If you have a minute here, why don't you talk to
You
the
can
camera
talk directly
and
to
talk to them.
and say
what
what
would you would say
want.
to them?
Oh,
Since I already am talking to them on your behalf,
there's nothing I
and
can
so will
say to
Victoria.
Mary Jo
What
and
would you
Jessica.
say?
There's nothing I can say.
You have something you'd say. I know that you're apologetic.
I am apologetic, and I would do anything and give anything to have that sit down. I really would give anything to have that sit down because they don't speak to me. I don't speak to them. It hurts every single day I get up and go to work. Every day. I would love to see you, Mayor. I would. I'd love to see my daughter. Are you kidding me? I don't even look at the stuff she does online because it hurts too much. That makes me,
You love those
So
kids.
so it sounds like that's what our next step will be.
All right. Well, and stay tuned.
We'll
We're
see.
here at Podcast Broadcast Central, and that's where we're
And
going
I'm
to be
not
for the
doing
next
this.
one too.
I'm not doing this anywhere else.
Good.
I've had so many calls to do stuff. I'm like, I ain't doing that.
We appreciate
I'm
it.
not doing that.
So
It's very loyal.
Especially
As you
when
do.
the
So-
movie came out, when
when they
people
came
were calling me left and right, and
said
I'm like,
no.
David, I'm not doing any of this.
So Joey, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
David,
You're welcome, David.
thank you. So we'll see you next time for Men Talk 2 True Crime, and thanks for joining us at PBC Studios.
I'm a man on a mission. I'm a man on a mission.
Pilates Pro Chair Max combines the sculpting power of Pilates with easy, effective cardio exercise workout videos. Available on demand anywhere. A Pilates machine designed to help you get a leaner, stronger, and more flexible body. Engineered for all fitness levels, it targets every muscle group with low-impact workouts that deliver the highest results. Work your arms and entire body together or separately, making every workout tailored to your needs. Are you ready to transform your body and elevate your fitness routine from the comfort of your home? Take the first step towards a leaner, healthier, happier you.
Build and shape your glutes in less time. Looking to tone your glutes and improve your overall fitness level? The Booty Bridge is perfect for at-home workouts. This simple device can help you achieve amazing results. Designed for all fitness levels, Booty Bridge is easy to use, so you'll be able to get a great workout even if you're not a fitness expert. The Booty Bridge is portable, so you can take it with you wherever you go and easily fold it to stow away at home. Build a beach-worthy booty. This is Booty Bridge.
This podcast is presented solely for educational and entertainment purposes. I'm just a man and your friend. I'm not a licensed therapist nor a doctor, and this podcast is not intended to take the place of a physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or professional. Got it? Good. I'll see you in the next episode of Men Talk to MT2.